What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. I turned down a Rams hat a couple weeks ago, or else I'd have a Super Bowl hat to wear. It's
Fuck
not a
that
Super Bowl
hat.
but yeah, I don't give a
But
shit about them.
nope. But before we start, I did say a couple weeks ago, if we were famous, a lot of people were coming after me about Matthew Stafford. What you gonna say now? Suck it. But I do agree, he should not be in the Hall of Fame yet. He hasn't done enough.
He's
You were
not even
sucky
close.
as shit for 12 years. You got a Super Bowl, but you threw two picks that me and Travie Boy here called. We both thought one of them would be a 6 pick because you suck enough.
6 pick.
So pick 6 because you suck enough like that was getting me there. But so everybody's saying, oh, this is definitely a Hall of Fame tack into the board. Absolutely the fuck not. But he definitely showed that he is a top 5 quarterback, maybe not top 3 like I was saying after that Super Bowl, but that no look, bro. And for him to go to the sideline and go up to Cooper and be like, hey, that might have been the best one all year. Let you know the fucking type of mindset and eliteness that Matthew Stafford really does have when he has the tools around him. I mean, getting Odell's going to get that ball 10 times out of 10 times in Cleveland. And I think he had 2 touchdowns when he left because Baker doesn't know how to put it in the right spot.
If Odell didn't get injured, the Rams win that game by 30 points.
Oh, absolutely. 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 But that's because Eli Apple was a little subject. But even though everybody's talking shit about him, can you imagine if Aaron Donald because I know you saw the memes, you've seen the still shots of that Aaron Donald sack and Jalen Ramsey on his fucking face to turf on his home field as fucking Jamar Chase is like, oh my
wide
God.
ass.
Oh my God. I mean, Jalen's trying to look up, but he has too much fucking artificial turf in his face to be able to. Oh, that was the best picture in the world, but that's also the most heartbreaking picture since the picture of Miles Jack not being down. That's whenever that's the final minutes where the refs start to come alive. They did that in the Super Bowl. Do you want to talk about that first, or do you want to give kudos to the refs for leaving it in their pockets for 3.5 quarters?
Yeah, the Super Bowl was very nice and fun and clean played and everything for all the way up until literally one play left in the game. Essentially, the refs didn't call anything. We even saw things like not get called. Obviously, they've been showing all these memes now of like Aaron Donald offsides not called, a pass interference or a defensive holding, whatever, that looked the exact same as what that Bengals linebackers one that finally got called looked the exact same, not called. A face mask to Jalen Ramsey, not called. And then all the way down to when it's 3rd and goal and the end of the game, that's when they finally call a holding on a pretty weak call. It sucks because it's like one of those, the letter of the law is that it is a penalty potentially, but they hadn't been calling shit all game. So I don't know why that's when they decided to call it.
It was annoying, especially on the drive before. They had a holding penalty that could have been called and they didn't call it, and they decided to do that then against the fucking Bengals. And I get it. Linebackers are never supposed to be able to cover wide receivers like that. They have to have some kind of advantage to be able to get around. And obviously they had to be holding the back of the jersey and pulling around with the back.
He had his hand on him, maybe, but it looked like
but there was no tugs. Like
it looked like a 15-year-old kid in the going to homecoming, and he's like, "Am I allowed to touch her back or not?" And that's what it was.
There was no tugging. There was no tugging, like you're saying. He's like, "Can I? Should I? Will I? Can I? Okay, and maybe not." There was no tugs going on. He just wanted to make sure that he was right there. It was literally like there. It was like a magnet. Like it just would not let him touch his body. There was no tugging going on. There was no holding going on. And they're like, wait, that's a linebacker. That's Luke Wilson. That's a linebacker. Nope, can't happen. Yeah. But we all remember Luke Wilson as a fucking Seahawk going nuts until he got injured. And he was back in live action with the Bengals and just going under the radar. Just like Eric Weddle for the Rams, just going under the radar, doing his thing, making amazing plays. And why that was called, I have no idea. And that would have been a 3 and out. Or no.
Well, they would have had to choose between kicking a field goal, which wouldn't have helped them, so they would have
Would have
had to
had,
go for it.
but it was early enough in at the end of the game for them to get 3 out of that. And that really was the dagger, because there was 2 penalties after that were absolutely fucking absurd, that should have been called, but wouldn't have had the chance to get called if that
Right.
first one wouldn't have been called. And that was
Cooper
really
Cup
a
got his
sour
head
taste.
taken off, bro. That was the craziest. The penalty that was after that on the first down, when Cooper Cup somehow held on to the ball. I'm not really sure how he held on to it, but he got his head ripped off. And the weird part is the Bengals being offsides or whatever they did, or no, the holding or whatever it was on the other side. The Bengals should have tried to decline that shit and give them the touchdown right there so
Yeah.
that no more time got wasted off the clock. But the
Yeah, I mean,
offsetting penalties, I don't even think you can choose to decline.
yeah, I
or
don't think
whatever.
you can either with offset, because it's declined and declined, and or accepted.
But then
and
the play
accepted.
would
I'm
have
not
held
sure how it
or held
happens.
up. So
Yeah, I'm not sure how
knows?
that shit happens. It's probably just a rule in the NFL when there's one on their
Yeah.
offense, one on the defense. And even there's sometimes where there's a face mask that's declined and the holding is accepted, but then the defensive holding is accepted. So
Yeah.
we're replay downs and like, what? The offense had 2. The
Yeah.
defense had 1. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it should offset and then the other one should count.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, they all in all, it was a really good game though. And it looked to me after halftime that the Bengals were about to run away with this thing, because the Matthew Stafford, I almost called him Matt Stafford, but clearly his wife does not want it to be Matt Stafford. Did you see that?
No.
At the parade. So at the parade that was today, it was kind of cool. Some people actually showed up. Fans that I didn't know existed showed up. Matthew Stafford was drinking a little bit of some bubbly, and Tom Brady tweeted at him or Instagrammed at him or whatever and said, make sure you take a water between those drinks. Trust me. Trust me, Matt, is what he said. And Matthew Stafford's wife took a snap back, and she's wearing a shirt that says it's Matthew, not Matt. And she's like, at Tom Brady. Like,
Hell no. Did you see the
crazy.
LA GM saying fuck those picks?
Yeah.
His shirt said fuck those picks.
Yeah, they don't need picks if you
They
get
notoriously do not have picks until like 2025 in the first or second round, I believe. Like they don't have shit.
Yeah.
They didn't draft it all last year until the 6th round.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, fuck them picks. They got a chip.
Yeah. The game happened. They got the win. Cooper Cup got the MVP. I think it could have gone Donald's way, but do you think
it couldn't? Donald had four tackles.
Just a quick question though. If that last play of the game was a Donald sack instead of an incomplete pass, does that push him over the top? Because then it's like truly he made the play that.
Then it's 5 tackles, 3 sacks, and maybe. But he has
because Cooper Cup was just one drive though. Like that was just that one.
Cooper Cup
drive.
had 2 touchdowns though.
On
he had
2 catches.
3 touchdowns.
He had like 2 catches.
9. He had 9 receptions.
Touchdown.
He had 9 receptions, like 86 yards.
I mean, take away that drive, the final drive. Take away the final drive. I think he had 3 attempts, 2 catches for like 30 yards and a touchdown or something. And then that final drive, they force fed him, which is great. So, but you just saw what those picks that they gave up really meant, because the last 2 drives were the reason that they don't have picks. I mean, Cooper Cup went down, did his thing. And then on the defensive end, Aaron Donald, the play at the end was awesome, obviously. But the third down play where he just reached out with one arm and just grabbed Joe Mixon like, no, sir, and somehow held him back from getting a first down on that third down. That was probably the better play that he had. And it's just a tackle. But
yeah, I mean, he was out there. Speaking of one arm, we're going to talk a lot about the Rams real quick, but Ja'Marr Chase, I think he had 3 one-handed catches in that game, just because Joey Burrow was having to fit it in where he could. Like, he has the cornerback blanketed on his left arm, so he's having to fucking torque, pull back, and just grab that bitch down, bring it in. Or he's just railing him, and he's just running towards the sideline and just drags that bitch down and hits. Like, dude, to go from the beginning of the season not being able to figure out where their laces were and it was just different, and not being able to figure out how to catch the fucking football, to what he did in the Super Bowl as a rookie. Ja'Marr Chase was absolutely spectacular. Joey Burrow, man, he gave his best with the line he was given.
Yeah.
He did his thing. That was a hell of a Super Bowl. A lot of people are talking about the Bengals are going to need a lot to happen for that to happen again, a la Buccaneers last year, and they got knocked out this year. They need a lot to happen. They need injuries to happen. They beat a fucking well-oiled Chiefs team.
Right.
Let's not forget that. Twice. They did it twice.
With this line too.
That's a team that's going to be able to do a lot. And oh yeah, I think they have 2 first-round picks this year. And there's 2, 3, 4, 5 great linemen in this draft.
Yeah.
They'll be able to get at least 2 of them. They'll definitely trade up. We've both talked shit about this organization in the last 10 years. Not so much the last 2 or 3 years. They've really done their thing to put this team into where they're at. They do still have the same owner, so we'll see what his input does.
Right.
They're on the up and ups, man. And a lot of people, a lot of Ravens fans, a lot of Steelers fans are really hopeful. And I keep reminding them, like, y'all are fucked for the next 5-6 years. Like,
but they need what. Well, the Ravens might not be fucked, but
these boys are going to be on rookies' contracts, and this is just talking about the offense. The defense is full of no-name guys who have earned contracts, but that was in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Nobody's going to pay these guys $10-15 million for defense. None of these linebackers are going to get more than $10 million on defense. So they're going to stay with the Bengals, and they're going to run it back. And, bro, the ceiling's the roof, dog.
They're going to draft 7 offensive linemen this year. And just because they don't need another position, they really don't. It's really crazy. You could say, that you want, I don't know what you would want, because Mixon's fine. They have 3 receivers that are awesome. Uzama's fine, and the defense is locked in. So honestly, I don't know who they would. I guess a cornerback. They need a cornerback, but other than that, they're fine. And they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But it's so crazy because the AFC just as a whole is going to be a force, hopefully you guys are a little better, but with the teams that are there, Tennessee, if they upgrade at quarterback, should be better. The Chiefs will be the Chiefs. The Bills will be the Bills. You got to think you guys improve. The Patriots should improve with Mac Jones. Justin Herbert and the Chargers will be in that thing. So it's pretty crazy. The AFC is going to be just stacked, and that's why the other big story is Aaron Rodgers. We can talk about him in a second, but that's why he's not going anywhere, because he doesn't want to go deal in the AFC. So,
but real quick with the Chargers, their downfield attack was all Mike Williams, and he's going to be a prime free agent this offseason. I don't think they're going to be able to retain him, dude. So next year they're going to have fucking old ass Keelan Allen, who's on his last year next year, and Austin Eckler, and who was their fucking tight end? Old ass.
I think it was because they had an injury though that they went and got.
Started with a J.
Jimmy Graham?
No, Jared Allen. Right?
No,
is that right?
I don't know of a Jared Allen. Is it the guy that used to be in Green Bay?
I believe so.
Jeremiah? No. What is it?
No.
I don't remember.
Anyways, but it's the old ass. That's their biggest threat. If they let old dude leave, they're fucked. Like
they're not fucked. They're gonna be fine.
They are. Do you think Austin Eckler is going to be able to put up the numbers he put up this last year?
Yeah.
2 years ago, this motherfucker was a backup. 2 years ago, he was hoping. The team was hoping he didn't go to another shitty ass. They were hoping he wasn't in Houston with that Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, but he was a backup to Melvin Gordon, though, bro. Like, it's not like he was just a backup.
What's Melvin Gordon doing?
Nothing now.
Yeah, he was in Denver doing something, but it's just this carousel of fucking running backs thing is what Austin was on, and now he's there. Like if they get rid of, what did I say, Mike Williams, they're fucked. They are.
Eckler's going to be a number 2 draft pick in fantasy drafts behind Derrick Henry.
Devontae, Jonathan Taylor, 1-2 again.
I'm not ever picking Jamar Chase again, and not because he's not good, but because for some reason I overthink him.
No, it's your fault.
So I know. That's what I'm saying.
What we need to do is you need to let me draft the team in every other week, because the week that you would start him, he sucks. The week that I would start him and you tell me to sit him, he's amazing. So we just need to share a league and just bounce off of each other.
No.
Do the opposite of
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick my starting lineup in the draft, and then I'm gonna pick fucking like Tim Tebow and shit, so that I don't have to think about the bench because they're not playing. I'm gonna have my starting lineup, and if they do great, I'm not gonna have Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, Jamar Chase, and Cordero Patterson anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna have my 3 starters, and I'm done. I'm gonna have shitty people. I'm just gonna pick ex UCF Knights so that when I win a ring, they'll be champions. That's what I'm gonna do. Fuck the bench.
You got this.
Yeah, fuck the bench. I'm done with that. So the Rams did have their parade, as I said, and Sean McVay and Aaron Donald both drunkenly, I might add, said run it back. So
Yeah.
they've obviously been talking about potentially retiring and whatnot, but during their celebration for all the fans here, they all said run it back, run it back. McVay asked Aaron Donald, hey, let's run it back, and then Aaron Donald said, yeah, why not? Let's run it back. So do you think they're actually going to try to run it back, or are they
They're
still
gonna try to? But they were able to overcome so many things. They didn't have to face a couple of different people that they thought they were going to. They were able to get a couple of wins that they shouldn't have gotten. No, the Rams aren't going to run it back. It's not going to happen. Short story. It's that they went through a lot. And a lot of people are saying that about the Bengals, which is kind of pissing me off a little bit. That the Bengals aren't going to be back there, that the Rams could go back at it. They're going to have to pay some people. They got a couple people on 1-year contracts, 2-year contracts. I don't see Von Miller sitting there for his contract that he had in Denver after doing what he did in LA. So they're going to have to expand some things. And do I see that happening? No. We thought that was going to happen with Tampa. They brought back all 22 starters and about 25 backups out of 30. So yeah, no. It's not that easy. It's not that easy in today's NFL. A team like the Bengals can fuck you up, as the Chiefs saw. A team like the fucking Rams with a first-year quarterback can fuck you up like the fucking Packers saw.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
it's the
not
Rams.
guaranteed.
The Rams were the 4 seed. Like, it's not like when we kept asking if the Chiefs were going to run it back because they were 16-1 and 15-1, I guess, back then, and able to run the table on everybody and win games by 30 points. The Rams were a 4 seed. It's not like they were great. It's not like they were world beaters. If they run it back exactly the same and they're the 4 seed again, the odds are against them to even make it to the Super Bowl. So they're not even that team. Like you said, they caught up a couple of breaks. Having to face the 49ers was a break. Getting to face the Cowboys was a break. So they pretty much didn't have to face anybody too tough. And no knock on the Bengals, but avoiding the Chiefs or the Bills in the Super Bowl was a break. So they had a bunch of breaks that they got.
The Bengals went through the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl.
I understand that.
Like,
so
they
now
went
the
through
Rams didn't have
fully-fledged
to,
Chiefs.
and that's a break.
That's not they barely scored against that defense. That Bengals defense was great. They break down 3 or 4
I
times
understand that. There's
game.
a reason they were in the fucking Super Bowl.
And that's why Matthew Stafford is who he is. That's why Cooper Kupp is who he is, because those couple of breakdowns, Cooper Kupp let loose for a fucking 35-yard on the fucking sideline, and it extended the drive to where you thought they might get 3, and they ended up with a fucking touchdown because Odell Beckham's a fucking freak and was able to break off of the line. Cooper Kupp against fucking Jalen Ramsey, or Jamar Chase against Jalen Ramsey looks stupid as fuck, but the Cincinnati Bengals don't have Aaron Donald, Von Miller, fucking what's his name, Bruce, not Bruce Floyd, fucking whatever his Floyd is. Like, them boys are fucking monsters that were able to penetrate. The Bengals have the blueprint. It's kind of like the Jaguars back in 2017, but we have a shitty ass GM, shitty ass organization. The Bengals have shown in the last 3 years since they've hired their GM that they got a scheme. They know what they want to do, and now they know what holes they need to plug. I guarantee you, I would put money on it. They'll be back before the fucking Rams are back, because the Rams got through so much in that NFC.
Yeah, the Rams are going to be screwed, but I'm just saying
they got lucky.
If you don't have to face either number 1 seed, you don't have to face the number 2 seed, except
the Bengals went up fucking 10 hands, 10 toes, 10 hands, 10 toes, and beat everybody.
What the fuck does that have to do with the Rams
How
catching
did the Rams
break?
catch a break?
Because
That's
they
what I
didn't
wanna
have to
know.
face the number 1 seeds. They didn't. All right.
Because the Bengals were the number 1 seed at the end of the
No,
day.
they were the 4 seed. They weren't as good.
Because they lost a
won.
couple of weak games.
Yeah, exactly.
They beat the number 1 seed twice, bro. I love this. It's like Stephen A. and fuck.
It's just you're just speaking stupidity. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. All right. If
the Bills would have had no chance against the Chiefs, and the Bills would have got really fucked against the Rams.
All right. When you're talking about catching breaks, you're looking at paper, bro. If like you're racing against Usain Bolt, but Usain Bolt randomly tripped when I was racing against him and I beat him, you get to catch a break by racing against me. It doesn't matter that I beat Usain Bolt, so now you're not catching a break. You still catch the break. Like, it doesn't matter that I stepped up and beat him. That's not how that works. They caught a break. They didn't have to face either number 1 seed.
I mean, I feel like they matched up a lot better against the Bengals than they would have against the Chiefs, but that's not their fault. They didn't catch a break.
I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm not faulting them at all. They played the best
in the AFC.
I'm not faulting anyone. I'm not saying that the Bengals suck. I'm saying that the Rams caught a break when they missed having to play all these. I would much rather play one good team in a year than go through 5 good teams. It's catching a break.
That's why they're in the NFC.
Yeah, but if they would have had to face the Packers and then go face the Bengals, that's a different story than facing the 49ers and then the Bengals. If they catch a break going through the playoffs, you're an idiot. All right.
So that was more of an argumentative thing. That's not me being an idiot.
Well, it was wrong. So, I mean, that's you being an idiot. All right.
Still right at the end of the day.
Moving forward, they're going to try to run it back, I think. There's no way Aaron Donald retires. No way Sean McVay retires. But who knows? They both have a lot of money, and Aaron Donald's got a lot.
I don't know where that's coming from, and I feel like that's
married, Doug.
That's one of those reports, though. That's one of those reports, though, that somebody overheard something when he was talking about that, like trying to bring it back, and just, you know, now that I'm getting married, I kind of want to focus on me a little bit and kind of dial it back. And somebody overheard that it was like Sean McVay wants to dial it back. And he looked into it. And he was like, hey, what does that mean? I don't know. Maybe he's going to try to get away in the next couple of years. Sean McVay doesn't want to be a coach anymore. And that's just somebody spinning their things, kind of throwing a wishbone out. And who knows? Maybe that's going to be a whole Tom Brady thing. We saw Tom Brady come out and retire. And then literally 9 days to the day of his announcement, he was on his podcast saying, there's a chance I come back. So maybe that's one of those things. I alluded to it last week where I don't remember his name, Jeff Jingleheimer Schmidt, dude, and Adam Schefter coming out and kind of, he's like, fuck, now I've talked about it, now I have to do it, and kind of thing. So we'll see. But we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, they obviously love what they do, and they're both so young that I don't know that either one of them leaves, but it's always possible.
36 years old, youngest head coach to ever win a Super Bowl. He was in the Super Bowl 2018, right? 2018.
Right. But do we even think he's a good coach? Honestly,
yes.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's a good coach.
He has with the quarterbacks. He's an offensive guy. He came in your organization in 2001, 2002. Kind of sat back on the ropes and learned. And yeah, no, he's shown he's an offensive guy. He runs great plays. He's definitely got blessed this year with Matt Stafford, who I say is the top 3 quarterback in the league. But that no look at the end of the game, that's the tools. That's where I think it's hard in today's NFL to be a great coach. We talk about, what the fuck was his name with Dallas?
Mike McCarthy?
No,
you mean the old Jason Garrett?
No.
Bill Parcells? How old are
Bill Parcells? No, with the hat.
Tom Landry?
Tom Landry. We talk about Lombardi and all this shit. These guys that were able to do it. But McVay is just, once he's able to get that guy, he got fucking Jared Goff to a Super Bowl, bro. And once he got Matt Stafford,
and scored 3 points.
Matt Stafford 1 year in goes to the Super Bowl and wins, knowing Matt Stafford's going to throw 1-2 picks. And I wanted to place a bet with anybody who wants to put up $20. Matt Stafford throws a pick 6 tonight in the Super Bowl. Who wants to put up money? Nobody wanted to. He still threw 2 picks. None of them were pick six, but still, know it's going to happen. And he still took that weapon and went to the Super Bowl with it. I think Sean McVay is an offensive genius, and he knows what he has. With Jared Goff, he was able to get there with Todd Gurley, and he
And
was
then
able
he
to.
never ran Todd Gurley in the Super Bowl,
But he
and
was
they
able to
scored 3
rely on
points.
Cam Akers the whole time and didn't run Cam Akers the whole time in the
Exactly.
Super Bowl either.
Doesn't
But
like
hey,
he overthinks
he got
himself,
the
dude.
dub.
I don't know. I don't know that he's a great coach. I see these good play calls, but I mean, he had Cooper Cup, and Cooper Cup had a hell of a year, and a lot of that is the play call. I understand, and a lot of that is just the ability of your players. When you have Aaron Donald, when you have Cooper Cup, when you have Jalen Ramsey, when you have Matt Stafford, when you have Beckham the second half of the year, you're gonna be better. Obviously, he had Higbee for a long time, and he was a good guy. Obviously, he wasn't there for the Super Bowl, but when eventually talent wins out, we see it all the time. Every now and then a lesser team could win, but usually talent wins out. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, they had more talent. Aaron Donald got the final sack. We saw with the talent on, and that was what everybody was talking about. Jamar Chase on fucking Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey gave up 105 yards and a touchdown in that game. So he was one play away from being the meme of the century for
sure.
this Super Bowl, because we've seen face down, gone, hand in the air. Feed me the fucking ball.
And I think Chase, not Chase. I think Burrow was trying to get it to him, and then he had to do a little spin because Donald, he didn't have to do it. He got spun around by Donald, and he still tried to throw it. So if he would have had half a second longer, it's done. But let's close the book on football because it's over. It's done. Congratulations, Rams. You did it. People actually showed up for the parade, so I'm surprised.
Bro,
I did not show up
speaking
for
of the parade,
because I don't care.
did you see the next day? I think it was 6 o'clock in the morning. Bengals fans, probably about
welcome him to the
probably
airport
about
or whatever.
5,000-6,000 people.
Yeah.
On the bus. No, not even to the airport. 5,000-6,000 people on the buses into the stadium so they could get back in their cars and go home. That's absolutely fucking amazing. I think the Jaguars fans had like 600-700 people there, and it was probably more than that. It was probably like 10,000 people that were there for the Bengals. It looked like a pep rally.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome. So hey, real quick, just shout out to the Bengals, to their fans. Not the organization. They still haven't proven that they really wanted to be there. We'll see here soon. But that was an amazing run, amazing time, and this is probably one of the only times that I've ever been happy and content with the ending. Like I can think about this for a couple months and be able to replay it and be happy, because like everybody, it's not the Patriots, it's not the Niners, it's not Peyton Manning. So like this is something new, and it was a great fucking Super Bowl up until the last 2 minutes whenever the fucking Zebras wanted to start pulling shit out of the pockets.
And I think the right team won. When you look back at it, like, yeah, like I said, they caught some breaks. Like we said, a lot of crazy stuff happened, a lot of last second plays. Literally every single game this postseason was down to the wire, the final drive. So, but when you look at, they really built the team for this, and they pulled through and they got it done. So I'm happy with how it happened. I'm happy with what happened. So good job, Rams. It sucks that the Bucs didn't win it, but I'm glad that it was them over anybody else, I guess.
Another fucking Jaguar that gets another fucking ring. It's annoying as shit. Yeah. But at least he was the worst player on the fucking team. I send it to you. Shout out to Eric Weddle. He tore 2 parts of his pec. So your pec's up here, right? So when I sent you the picture, you would think it's somewhere around here, right? No, he tore right here and right here. I don't know how this is your fucking pec, but this is where it was all bruised and fucked up, and he still played.
It probably like tore in his pec and then slapped him up there.
Yeah, he still played like another 48 snaps or whatever it was that it said.
In like a brace thing to where he couldn't lift up his arm.
And was the captain, still calling the plays. That's real man shit. Yes, he chased a ring, but he wasn't like a lot of people are when they get injured, knowing what they have on that team. They're like, oh, I could still go to sit on the sideline and probably get this ring. He knew what he was for that defense and still stayed out there in the biggest game of his life. And I love Eric Weddle. I always have. His haircuts were always my favorite. But yeah, this is definitely his last ride. We've been talking about a lot of retirements here lately and speculations of retirement, but yeah, this is probably it for Eric Weddle. And
Well,
what
he's
a
definitely
fucking
said
journey,
mid.
bro.
So
What a
yeah.
journey. 3 years ago, we were talking about him being a Pro Bowl savage for the
Yep.
Chargers, like just a G. And I think he was what, 29. So for him to be where he is now, Super Bowl champion, tore up one more again, I think he's done.
Yeah, he's for sure done. But hey, he gets that ring, and that's what matters. So let's move on now. Let's talk a little bit about basketball. We're pretty much officially at the All-Star break. There's a couple of games tomorrow, I think.
That was your Super Bowl talk, Joe.
Oh,
He was very much looking forward to our Super Bowl talk.
nice. Does he like the Rams or anything? Who does he like?
He Cowboys, C. Stein.
Oh yeah, because he's his dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did tell
So
him, I was like, you're our only American viewer, so I appreciate your support.
I think he is the only American viewer because
And I told him,
Canada.
I told him, I was like, Canada. He's like, don't slip up with Canada, man. You know how they are. He's like, but your slip ups are the best. But that's coming from an American.
Hold on, but just before we stop or before we start, I just want to check because USA is playing Canada in women's hockey for the gold medal match right now. And it looks like we're getting our asses kicked. Hold on.
We played it earlier today in men's, and I put some.
We fucking lost because we suck.
Are you serious?
The men did in the quarterfinals. They blew it. They, dang, this fucking thing sucks. You think the NHL will show that shit? Yeah, we let in the goal, the tying goal with less than a minute left.
Oh my
And then
gosh,
we
we did Slovakia.
All right, so Canada is up 2-0 at the end of the first regulation. Nope, 3-0 now. God damn. So Canada's up 3-0 right now. That sucks in the second period. So the US needs to step their game up. But anyways, any Canada listeners, you guys are doing work for us in the golden against us.
I'd rather fucking Canada beat us than fucking Slovakia.
Yeah. In a
we grew up
upset.
in Palatka and North fucking Jacksonville area with Bosnians and Slovakians, and they don't I don't want to shit on people, but they don't appreciate America. I mean, they didn't. They might nowadays.
This is their miracle on ice,
so
though,
mean
bro.
and so rude and shit. They don't like Americans.
Yeah, this is their miracle on ice.
That's why I love Bosnians. Bosnians were so happy to be here, and I'm not geographical or anything like that, but I feel like they talk the same. They look the same.
Eastern European,
Slovakia, so, yeah. And like Bosnia is like, just appreciate being here. And Slovakians are like fuck America. I'm like, whoa.
A lot of people are fuck America, bro. A lot of people are fuck America, especially right now. So let's move on to the NBA, and the All-Star break is now pretty much here.
Last 10 years, I agree.
Phoenix has now officially clinched no worse than the play-in tournament, bro. By the All-Star break, if we lose, we have 24 games left. If we lose 24 straight games, we'll still be 10th place in the West.
Aren't you happy that you're in the West?
I don't care, dude.
We've lost 3 in a row. So the good thing with us, we've lost 3 in a row, and we're still in the top 5. But the bottom 10 are 5.5 game separations. Y'all are up, I think, 3.5 games.
5.5
on
games.
5.5 games, and 5.5 games separates the top 7 or 8 in the East.
Yeah, but honestly, this is obviously I'm a fan, but I think if all teams are at their very best, we would win a 7-game series against anyone. So I don't care if we were in the East, West, whatever. We'll talk about, we can because it's the NBA and we're here now. We just played a game against the Clippers, and you were talking to me earlier before the pod. If they get Kawhi and Paul George back, that's a risky 7-game series.
That game last night, bro, or 2 nights ago when this comes out.
Right. Obviously, when we play teams that have a better player than Devin Booker, which could obviously happen. He's not the best player in the league. So if we get to play the Bucks, if we play the Nets, which I don't think the Nets are making it very far at all, but if we play one of those teams with somebody that's better than Booker, it's always a little dicey because they can win games. But as a team, I don't think there's a team out there better than us, top to bottom.
So we've been saying that for a couple of years now. We were waiting on Booker to get to that next step. And
Mhm.
it seems like this year he has gotten to a next step, but he's still not elite
Right.
status.
Yeah.
Are we starting to think that he is just going to be this top tier 2 kind of guy? When he was in Kentucky, he wasn't the guy. I mean, Cat was there. They had big names
Well,
there,
he was
and
on
he
the
was,
bench in
yeah,
Kentucky. He wasn't
he had a
even.
brother, right? He was the Booker brothers, right? Or
No,
is
I
that
don't
was
think he had a
another set
brother.
of twins?
Yeah,
There
I
was
think.
there was a set of twins that was on there. I thought it might have been him,
I don't think
but
so.
he wasn't the guy in Kentucky. So when he showed up in Phoenix doing his thing, it was kind of a surprise, and we've all been waiting on him to take that next step. And it seems like this year he kind of has. And a lot of the analysts and the experts and the ex NBA players have came out saying that he has to be the guy. But it seems like night in and night out, CP3 still is the guy. Decision making, shot selection, and we're just hoping Devin Booker has his shot that night and is shooting over 40% so they can get the dub and do it in a nice fashion. Do you think he's ever going to be that lead man that can get over 25 points in a finals fucking series?
He's changed a little bit, and he is that man in the sense that I truly believe he can be the best player on an NBA championship team. Like at his current thing, if he's the best player on your team, you can win a championship with him. The spot that he hasn't elevated himself to is he can't be the only elite player. He has to have like a Chris Paul. Giannis was the only elite player on his team. He had great players. He had all-star players in Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday and those guys or whatever, but he was the only elite player. Booker, I don't think can do that, but he can be the best player on your team and still be fine. So he's right there on the verge. I think he's better. Like he's better than all-star, but he's not yet like elite. He's somehow hovering in the middle.
But like right now, I feel
So
like it could very well with the Jazz. We haven't talked about it, but before our episode last week, the Jazz came out with a lot of locker room bickering going on and
mhm.
stuff like that. So we can't expect the Jazz to be there. It's going to be the Suns and one of these teams. But you got to think Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, if he's going to be the best on his team, if it came down to them and the Clippers, they barely beat the Clippers last night, 2 nights ago when this comes out by what, 7-8 points. And
Yeah.
that was after two different like 15-0 runs, 13-2 runs by the Suns. That he's not going to be the best person on the court, and that's what we've really expected him to be. Are you worried at all? Like, I mean, as a Cavs fan, I'm just enjoying where the fuck we are right now. Are you worried at all at your chances of winning a chip?
No,
With him not being
because
the best person on the floor, like that's what we've been expecting for the last 3 years with this guy.
because he can be the best person on a night. And we have the best fourth quarter player in the world in Chris Paul.
Yeah.
So that's where it changes. This year we're 36-0 when we lead going into the fourth quarter. And Booker definitely turns it up. I think Booker has the highest clutch shooting percentage in the league right now, but it's because Chris Paul is the best clutch player that exists. And it's not even just his shot, which he has that weird little running mid-ranger that he can make 99 times out of 100. But it's because of his leadership. It's because Mikal Bridges has stepped up. DeAndre Ayton has stepped up, but mostly it's our defense, dude. And like, we can shut down anybody. I think we can shut down a Kawhi. I think we can shut down Giannis a lot better than we did last year. And I'm truly not worried. I think in a 7-game series, if everybody's playing their best, there is not a team top to bottom that can beat us. I just, Giannis would have to go for 53 out of the 4 wins for like us to lose. And it's possible, but I don't think it's probable.
Dude, not even thinking about the East right now because there's so much that can happen with that. I mean, the Bucks could end up not even winning their own fucking division if the Cavs get it together.
Right.
The Heat are in the lead right now. We all know they're probably the most susceptible.
DeRozan has 7
teams.
Straight 30-point games.
Yeah, the Bulls are in there. The Wizards just made big trades to try to get back up in on the East. So the East is going to be very different, and that's what's really weird. I was thinking about today, the All-Star game. You get the All-Star game in the MLB, it's mid-season, but you still have another like 60, 70 games left. And the basketball, you get like 25 games
Yeah.
in an 82 game season, and then you're right to the fucking playoffs. So right out of All-Star break, you're really diving in and getting going. And the Wizards are going to have to come out and do something spectacular. The Bulls are up there. I think they're 3 or 4 up there in the East. The Bucks are 4 or 3. So they're fighting for that. It's Miami.
The
and then I
Bulls were
forget-
second before, unless they've lost a couple.
but,
No, the
when
Bulls
I
are
check-
first now.
Oh,
They've
they
won
are
5 straight.
as of right now.
Yeah, they've
All
won
right.
5 straight and they're
But yeah,
first.
all right. So what is it?
It's Bulls, Heat, Bucks, Cavs, 76ers, Celtics.
Okay. And the 76ers on the up and ups. They just got James Harden. So yeah, the whole slate's going to be different. It's going to be crazy to see who comes out of the East, man. And it kind of sucks with that Harden trade to the 76ers because I really felt like the Cavs had a chance. And with the 76ers game the other night, I texted you. I was like, "This is a finals preview," and then
It
the
might
next
be
day
a
they get
first
James
round
Harden.
preview though, which is
Yeah,
going to be
that's what I'm
really
saying.
shitty.
And then the next day, it's like, oh yeah, they get James Harden. So it's all going to be up in the air. And like you said, it could be a first round. So that could be it could be the Bulls against the Cavs, the Bulls against the Sixers. The Celtics are going to fuck somebody there at the end because they had a slow start. They're starting to heat up.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum can't score less than 25 apiece. It's just not possible here of late. So that Celtics team is going to fuck some people up. Toronto is really starting to get it back going after they had a hot start, slowed down the last month. They're starting to get, so that East is really fucking insane right now. So all I'm worried about with you guys, you got to get through the Jazz. I think you'll be able to do that. And then after that, the Mavs just really sold away their whole team for the next couple of years. They would not get rid of Kleber.
Yeah.
They got rid of KP instead. So they're looking forward into the future of what they can build off of that, of what they got off of. Where the fuck did the unicorn go?
New Orleans? No,
Yeah,
where did he?
no,
Washington.
no.
Where did he go?
Washington. I think Washington.
It might have been Washington.
But so they'll be able to build off of that here in the future. So there's a lot of give or take here since the trade deadline. But it's going to be hard on the East side. I think you guys have a way better chance than the last couple of years. 2 years ago in the bubble, not able to make it. Bro, did you hear that fucking the Pelicans tried to trade up for Ja Morant so they could team up? I mean, we all know now in the future where it lies. Zion isn't what Zion was supposed to be, but they tried to tag team
That's
Zion
crazy.
and Ja Morant. That's fucking insane.
That would have been crazy.
The Grizzlies, the way they're going right
That's
now.
the only team I'm scared of is the Grizzlies.
The way they're going right now, they have a chance to jump up and be the 2 seed.
Right.
And you can meet them in the finals. It's the West is kind of, there's 2 or 3 teams, but in the East is what I'm worried about because there's so many fucking teams in the East and there's so many different fucking lineups that can come out and go with you guys. From top to bottom, Bertans can be the 3 against Cam Johnson. If you guys run on the roll him out in the 3 whenever you start Jay Crowder at the 3. There's so much shit that can happen in the East right now. It's bonkers, man.
Yeah, I'm not worried about getting out of the West though, because it's just the Grizzlies, and I think the Grizzlies are going to have to face up against the Warriors, and whichever team comes out of that should be weakened. If we're facing off against the Jazz in the second round, I'm not worried, dude. I'm just
And also
just not.
with you guys, who's the difference with you guys was CP3 from last year into almost getting into it.
Right.
OKC was the 8th seed. They got into it because of CP3. Who on the Grizzlies is going to get them there?
It's
Steven
just
Adams?
Ja. I mean, Ja stepped up.
But Steven Adams is the most veteran guy on that team. How much is he going to be able to implement? Oh, I remember being in OKC whenever we got swept by the Warriors and KD ended up on that team. How much is he going to be able to implement as a veteran,
So you think they're that 1 year away team that needs to get beat up first?
They're another one piece away team. They're not veteran enough. They need a
Yeah,
veteran
but could
guy.
the piece be
That's
a
where you
deep
guys were
playoff
blessed at.
loss?
Your piece could have been fucking Vince Carter. What the fuck would that have done? Your piece could have been Russell Westbrook.
No, I'm
for it to
saying,
be
like,
CP3.
I'm saying not even a person. Could their piece be making it to the conference finals and losing in 6 or 7 games and everybody getting that experience?
No.
Could that be if you say they're just not veteran enough,
No,
that
when you see the like losing isn't enough, it's going to take a couple years of them being able to figure out what it takes. If losing was enough, Stephon Diggs wouldn't have been looking on for the last 2 years, which he did last year. Like that's not enough. One person can have enough heart. I get there's only 5 people on the court at one time, but losing it isn't enough. It's going to take that veteran piece that isn't used to losing. CP3 isn't used
Chris
to
Paul's
losing.
used to losing. What are you talking? He's
He's
never
not, but
won.
yeah, I'm saying, will you let me finish? Will you let me finish, Cartier? Goddamn. He's not
You
used to
wanted
losing.
some skip. I'm
He's
giving you
not
some
used to
skip.
losing. Does he have any chips? No. Does he lose in the regular season? Absolutely not. Is he part of some of the best regular season teams ever? Yes. Lob City, last year's Suns team, 2 years ago, Suns team in the bubble, probably the best bubble team ever.
Even the
8-0.
early Hornets years, they
Like
were good.
he's part of, yeah, bro. Baron Davis being his second option. Like, yeah, he has been a part of great teams and almost been there. Chris Paul is an elite guy who has just been given the short end of the stick. And I admire him so much for not going to the Lakers, not going to the Heat back in the day. He could have been their point guard. Instead, he stayed with New Orleans. You don't think Banana Boat Squad could have showed up and he could have been over Mario Chalmers? It
I
could have
think didn't
happened.
he? Well, he was going to go to the Lakers and fucking
And no, the trade got, yeah,
yeah.
that trade got, yeah, that did happen. Yeah, absolutely. But
And then
oh
he
yeah,
would
we did
have
talk about that a
3
couple months
rings.
ago. So yeah, like shit like that does happen, but he's gotten the short end of the stick, and the man keeps grinding, bro. He keeps grinding, and that's the thing I love about Chris Paul. He hasn't really sold out. He didn't try to go to the Jazz. He didn't try to go to the Nuggets. He didn't go to the Clippers like Reggie Jackson, all these old heads. He went to the Suns, knowing what they had and knowing what he could do, and knowing that he could fit in with those guys. But it's going to take a lot, man, this year. That East is so fucking crazy, bro.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm put the money down, son. I'm not bring me gambling. Bring
Are you not
now
worried
then.
because you know the Bucks aren't like the favorites in the
I'm
East?
not
Like
worried
it's
because
so
I've
staggered.
watched 48 games. And
Like like last
or
year,
68 games.
last year there wasn't a team in the East that could really fuck with the Bucks. This year, the Heat could take the Bucks, the Bulls could take the Bucks, the Wizards, now that their team's transformed, could take the Bucks on a good day. The Cavs could take the Bucks on a good day. We did a week ago.
Yeah.
The Bucks are not the team in the East nowadays. Is that why you're not
No.
worried, or you just really think you guys are more experienced? You got Torrey
I
Craig
think
back.
we're the best team, top to bottom. I that's literally all it is. Like
Even
I'm
starting Jay Crowder though, bro.
yeah, Jay Crowder, we start for defense, and Cam Johnson, we start if we need offense.
Jim, so he reminds me. So you know how when you play online 2K, you have to run the backcourt, like
Mhm.
not the backcourt, but the second team. You have to.
Right.
There's fatigue. Cam Johnson's the guy you start in 2K in the second team because you know you can get like easy 15 points in the second quarter. Easy. He
Yeah.
just pops off. He gets 8 points in 8 minutes, and then he kind of dials
But
out.
now we got Torrey Craig back, who, for what it's worth, he didn't really do much for us last year. But we got him back. He gets to be just a physical presence.
But I feel like this year he's been more of a 10 points in 12 minutes kind of guy, more so the way y'all had him last year. Just play defense. Don't let your guys
Yeah.
score. We don't need you on offense. Now he's more confident in getting those mid-range shots, going to the lane, and he showed that last night.
You know, we're
Really fast.
17-0 when Biombo suits up.
Really,
Yeah.
Bismack.
He's doing his thing, but he doesn't dress anymore, sadly. But because we got McGee back, and it's Aiton McGee, and I guess
Yeah, but
Craig is
I
gonna be
figured
there.
he would have whenever y'all got rid of Jalen Green Jalen
Jalen
Smith.
Smith.
That
Well, we
he
got
would
rid of him
start
because
addressing.
McGee was coming back.
Yeah, no, but I thought that y'all would have started dressing Bismack again whenever
Yeah.
that happened.
We
but-
just don't need 3 bigs.
Yeah, but
That's-
y'all don't have Kaminsky dressing, so I
Right,
figured
that's
y'all
what I'm
have Bismack. But hey,
No, we dressed Torrey Craig
do
instead.
what you do, but watch my shoes.
We're fine. I'm calling it so cocky that we're gonna end up fucking out in the first round, but I'm not
So
too worried about it.
question, is there a player that's a Phoenix Suns that's going to win the MVP this year? Chris Paul is getting up there. Do you think it's going to happen?
No, Embiid's doing too well.
Yeah.
And with Harden back, Embiid's scoring is gonna go up.
But do you think that's going to hinder Embiid a lot? Because Embiid right now is what 24, 9 a game right now.
Yeah, but
He's
it's all
fucking dishing
ISO.
it.
Like nobody on the team knows how to pass the ball, and except they just get to have Horton throw it to him. Harden can actually make some assists to him.
Did
He
you
can
see
pull
the
some people
Embiid
up.
ISO? He was ISO
The
and tried
step
to
back and he
hit the
got
step
blocked.
back. You
Yeah,
saw
I
that?
saw that.
They were definitely in practice together, and he was showing him the tool bag, and he was like, "I'm adding that bitch."
But Harden's going to be able to get the ball to him. He's going to be able to get some lobs. It's going to be, I think his score, well, his efficiency will go up. His scoring might actually stay right around the same, but his efficiency will go up.
See, I think it's gonna go down a lot. I think it's gonna go down a lot. We've seen whenever Maxi gets in there and gets points up, that Joel Embiid gets like 15 fucking boards, 8 assists, and ends up with like 12 points.
I think
so
right now, if I were to vote, the MVP would be between Jokic, Embiid, and DeRozan, in my personal opinion. I just
think
think
DeRozan
the two
has to be up
Suns
there, and
guys
fuck
take from
you.
each other.
Remember, I just want to, I love to rub my nipples. But remember whenever you were saying Levine was the best person? I love that you just said that. I think DeRozan has to be the
I
favorite.
literally
right now.
said that, and then I think DeRozan started his 30-point streak and hasn't stopped yet.
But I think DeRozan has to be the favorite going in right now, just because whenever Harden does get there, I flip flop with you. I think it's going to be completely different. I think Harden's going to soak up a good 20 minutes of action time, to where Embiid could be eaten, and Harden's going to be trying to get those fouls, trying to get in transition, trying to get those baskets, and Embiid's going to end up on an island, not knowing what to do, end up with about 12, 15 points for the next couple months, and just kind of go downhill.
And the Nuggets record is too bad. Like, you can't be an MVP for a 6th place team, right?
Yeah.
No. You can't do it.
No.
Because his numbers are better than his MVP numbers. But yeah, I think the lowest has been the 4 seed, right? That has had an MVP. I think you have to be at least
in
like
recent
4.
history, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't see Embiid being able to keep that cliff going, how he has for the last couple months. I mean, once he came back, I think he was injured for what, like a week and a half.
Yeah.
And since he's came back, he's just been fucking unstoppable. Looks like the MVP. And he's not so much like he used to be in the back in the day, where once he gets in the spot, it's going to be a shot 1,000% of the time. I know JJ Redick's kind of pissed off looking back, like, bitch, why didn't you pass it back in the day?
Right.
But Tobias at the same time. But yeah, they're getting it going, and they're able to do it. But it's more so off of what they're able to do off of him getting in the post and shit. And I don't think that's going to happen when it's in Harden's hands. We all know when Harden gets the ball, it's either a Harden layup, a Harden foul, or a Harden three-pointer. There's no other option, and that's going to happen about 60% of the time. So once it gets to crunch time after the All-Star break, which is coming up this weekend,
right?
Or no, this weekend or next?
Yeah,
weekend?
this weekend.
This weekend, we're going to forget about what Embiid was doing before the All-Star break, and which kind of sucks for him, but it helps out Chris Paul a lot, because I think he's going to end up being the MVP at the end of this, which is well deserving. Awesome. A whole fucking career deserving of it. He definitely needs it, and I don't think Devin Booker is going to do enough to be able to show him.
Do enough? He's just the best scorer we have.
Will you let me finish, Travis? Do enough to be able to make the MVP voters think that it's not just Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul is the what do people call me or call you? What was it? The facilitator.
Yeah.
Facilitator.
Well, sure, but
to get it in there to Devin Booker if it's not for Chris Paul, it wouldn't be for Devin Booker, and Chris Paul has to keep
right. But if it's not for Devin Booker, Chris Paul wouldn't have 10.8 assists a game either.
Yeah, but that's also Cam Johnson. That's also fucking Jay Crowder coming out smashing off. Whenever Chris Paul has to put in 42 minutes a game, he's having to play with Campaign and all these guys, and they're getting in their spots and making the shots. So yeah, that's all Chris Paul doing this thing, and being elite, 15,000 IQ in basketball, able to put them in their spots. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not trying to make it seem like it's not going to happen. I'm just saying.
I just think they're going to steal too many votes from each other.
Devin Booker's not going to be able to do enough to be able to not let Chris Paul be the MVP.
If the Bulls finish with the 1 seed, DeRozan's going to be right there. I think the
The
Suns.
voters aren't like baseball though. Like the voters really care. Like they really are. Like they really admire the basketball.
I
way
get
of-
that, but where were the Bulls last year? And where are they this year? And what changed? I mean, a lot changed, I guess, but
I was about to say, the DeRozan, Caruso,
Vucevic or
Levine
whatever.
being the guy with 5 other guys, Lonzo being another guy, Vucevic being the guy down low. They got rid of Markkanen, so Markkanen's not even his 7 foot ass. No, Vucevic, you do your thing.
DeMar DeRozan changed. That's what changed.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're saying that though. If we had an editing guy right now, we would have the Matt Stafford me sucking his dick 3 weeks ago, and we'd also have me sucking
Matt
fucking
Stafford, I
Harbaugh.
still don't think he's that good. I watched the Super Bowl. Shit.
But we'd add this to the next edit for the beginning of the next season.
Just keep adding it.
Yeah.
Keep adding it. No, I said DeMar DeRozan was good. I just said that Zach LaVine was still the best player on that team.
Levine has done his due diligence and became the second option. on that
Exactly.
team
He
because
backed
knows what
up.
time it is.
He backed up.
I love that they're going to DeRozan. And that's the only knock on that team. They've had way too many close games.
Mhm.
And way too many times that DeRozan had to take the call and turn it into from Clark Kent to Superman and lead that team to greatness. But that's the one thing, because we both know finals, we both know playoffs. That's not going to help you out a lot.
Right.
It's really not.
So one thing I did want to ask you is, I think it's a lock and it's going to be for the next foreseeable future, but I do check the NBA.com. Shout out to them, I guess, because they keep a running tab of the like rookie of the year, defensive player of the year, MVP, blah, blah, blah. And I did notice that on the defensive player of the year, it's obviously Giannis dominating. But second place, they have moved Mikal Bridges up to second place on defensive player of the year on NBA.com. So
Really?
yeah, I doubt he does enough. I doubt he actually has the actual stats. If you watch the game, you can tell how good he is at defense, but Giannis's stats are there. He gets like blocks all day long. He gets steals.
That's the thing with Giannis, he gets blocks. Mikel's more of a stills guy. Like he gets 3-4 stills. Like if he gets a steal, 2 steals, you can bank on him getting a 3-4 still game.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really get blocks that much. He doesn't need. There's DeAndre and JaVale McGee on the fucking inside, so he doesn't really need to help out, and that's why I think he's able to go for these stills so much. But yeah, I think if he's able to average 3.5, 4 games, 4 steals a game, he definitely has a shot at it. If the Suns are the 1 seed,
right,
bro, you can definitely see that. And how awesome would that be?
That would be nuts, dude.
Dude, that'd be great. It hasn't happened a long. I think AI was the last guy to get Defensive Player of the Year because he had 5 steals, 5.5.
Right.
I think it was 5.6 steals a game when he got Defensive Player of the Year off of steals. It's been the big guys all the time getting the blocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be great. But that's the only knock. It's not even his fault. It's the scheme. It's the defensive scheme.
Right.
He's able to let guys ole and end up in their arms.
But he jumps passing lanes like crazy. He's so good. So I just love seeing that.
And that's what was cool about Aaron Holiday.
Yeah.
Night. He was trying to pull out his bridges and jump the passing lane and ended up hitting Kennard, and he was fucking first down, bitch. Harbaugh.
It's nice because when you have McGee and Ayton in there, you can take chances and it's not going to bite you in the ass, which is really cool.
But that's going to be his only. He's got to keep that cliff going, and it seems like it can happen. He's really comfortable in his instincts, and he knows, hey, bro, you know how it is as a soccer player. You play defense a lot. You know when you have the boys behind you and you have a great goalie, it doesn't matter as long as that instinct kicks in.
Yeah.
If you think you can get it, go for it 1,000%. Because if you get beat 1 out of 8 times, let it happen, bro. You're covered on the outside.
And the next thing I wanted to shout out, because you've probably never seen this guy play unless you either watch free TV or have NBA League Pass, because he's not going to be on the actual TV anytime soon. But Josh Giddey is moving up in the rookie rankings. And this dude, he might be the best Australian player. Who is it right now? Joe Ingles?
Is that a Giddey or the Gritty?
That's the Gritty, I think so it's called.
Oh no, he's got to be the most up and coming Australian player.
It's crazy.
What did he have? A triple double with fucking.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous. He's going to be in the all-star lineups of The rookies doing
The
their
Rising
thing
Star
against
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the Rising Stars and he's in the
Oh, the 3v3, whatever
yeah, the
skills
rookies,
challenge
yeah, the
thing.
skills
Yeah.
challenge thing that's going on. So he's definitely up and comer in the way that that organization has went. He's definitely going to be their building block with the next couple of years.
Yeah.
It seems like since Oladipo, they get him, trade him, Russ, trade him. So in a couple of years, they're not going to want to pay him. They're going to trade him. But man, what a hell of a start he's had. He started out at the beginning of the season getting fucking 20 points a game, and that's where we started seeing him.
Right.
And then OKC started falling into their flow, and now he's getting steals, assists, rebounds. The kid's a fucking what is it?
Five-tool player.
5-tool player in basketball, and it's been awesome to see, and I'm excited to see him. So, is he there yet? No. Is he faster than Joe Ingles? This motherfucker looks like Flash compared to Joe Ingles. What are you talking about? Joe Ingles, he just tore his ACL, I think. He's been looking like that his whole career. He looks like he's been playing with the torn ACL his whole career. So I think Giddey is on the up and come. Australia has to be buying all of his jerseys compared to Joe Ingles on his up and come. He just came out of nowhere like, yo, this motherfucking Aussie shooting threes. Now he's getting blocks. And this is like year 5, year 6. For this to be this kid's rookie year coming out, he's doing the damn thing. And he's what a team to do it for. He knows what he has. It's Gilgeous-Alexander and him. So
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch. That's probably more highlights that I've YouTubed than anybody's is OKC's, just to watch him.
Yeah, I found him on League Pass after he was getting like the 20 points a game or whatever, and I watched a couple games and I was like, all right, and that was before he was really turned on. Because I try to watch all the people that are up for awards now that I have League Pass. I need to try to do something with it, right? So like I've watched a lot of Raptors games just for Scotty Barnes. I've watched a lot of Magic games just for Suggs. And for Wagner, honestly, Wagner's better than Suggs is. But just to watch all these rookies and stuff, and it's been fun.
Yeah, Giddey reminds me of you a lot because you like to utilize the pump fake a lot, but the difference, you would get into the hole, try to find the outlet. This motherfucker is jumping right into these bitches and able to get these.
I never shot. That was the problem.
And he'd fucking getting into them, stepping out, hitting these fucking fadeaway shots.
The pump fake never worked for me because I never actually shot after.
If you're a white boy that played like a pit bull, you have to love this kid's game.
Yeah.
And you can see how it's going to elevate. And he's going to be in a couple. If he did get on an all-star team, if he did get on a playoff team, he's not going to have these numbers. But he's still going to be so exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And I like that you shouted him out. He's definitely somebody that I'm looking forward to. If you got to think about somebody that's been drafted in the last couple of years that hasn't been in the top 2 picks, he's definitely one of the more exciting guys. He's been more exciting than Scotty Barnes has, and Scotty Barnes came out on a fucking roll.
Well, he's way more exciting than my rookie of the year pick of Jalen Green, who wishes he could go back to the G League and come back to be a rookie next year.
He can dunk. He can dunk.
He's a flyer for sure. We're gonna see that at the All-Star break, but that's all he can do is can fly.
Yeah, Evan Mobley's definitely gonna win.
Yeah, it's Evan Mobley's to lose. He'd have to get, knock on wood, injured.
Scotty Barnes had the worst month of his life, and that's
he's still NBA. His numbers though are right there, but it's gonna be whoever finishes out looking the best. And
it's just you can't shoot 30% from the field and win the rookie of the year. And Scotty Barnes has been absolutely atrocious the last.
We'll see what happens after the All-Star break. This is the thing that happens with rookies. They start out hot, but a college game is not 82 games, So you start to realize what's happening. So we'll have to watch that with Mobley as well. But it tends to translate a little easier for a big man because you don't need your legs under you all season.
Mobley had a lot of rest. Yeah. He was one of those guys that hey, I'm at USC-ish.
His brother, though, is tearing it up at USC, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe OKC will grab him with
that's cool.
High pick.
We should talk about that next week a little bit.
So college, because March is coming around, bro.
Yeah.
Did you see that Holmgren, by the way, had like a triple double with like 8 blocks?
Nope.
He fucking rolled, dude. He had like a 45-point triple double and had like 8 blocks.
I have seen that the Gators are looking into a decent seed, so.
The women, maybe.
Oh, the men aren't?
Gators men
6
are
losses.
Fucking what?
Yeah.
Like 3
Maybe I
months
was
ago,
looking.
maybe.
Maybe I was looking at the women's then.
Tennessee rolled our ass the other day.
Oh yeah, and then
Kentucky rolled our ass. Yeah, the women look good.
horrible.
Yeah, the men are gonna have to get some SEC clout, which we don't really have in basketball.
We need to get Kavion back.
We'll have to
Kenyon.
upset Kentucky in the
Kenyon, whatever his name is. Come back to us.
yeah.
Don't worry about your heart.
Yeah, it's not good for either of our basketball teams. UCF's not looking good either. So we'll see. Who else do we need to, or what else do we need to talk about before we get out of here?
I don't think there's too much, man. It's been a pretty boring week besides the Super Bowl. We got basketball, not too much tennis.
We got UFC. It wasn't the most exciting. Tui slept Derek Lewis, which was fun, but I wanted both of them to win somehow, and I didn't know. I truly, like, Courtney probably asked me like 4 times who I wanted to win, and I'm like, I truly just want both of these guys to win.
Bro, and real quick, shout out to the UFC because I cannot find highlights, like good clips. You see the celebrations afterwards.
Right.
I cannot find them. Can't do it.
Jeez.
So shout out to that. Izzy won.
Yeah.
You knew that was going to happen.
That one was tough. That was a lot tougher than people are making it
I
out
wouldn't
to be.
know. I wouldn't know. I just know what people were making it out to be. I saw the spinning kick. I saw a couple of hooks that Izzy hit. I saw Izzy not going to the ground. If he didn't see it. It reminded me a lot of Israel Adesanya that I'm used to. And
Whitaker took him down a couple times, but didn't do anything with him. He stood right back up.
That's why I didn't see it. But this is really starting to get me bummed on the UFC. The one before this was the biggest card that they were supposed to have ever. This was the Super Bowl card that they wanted to follow up to it, and it there wasn't that much shit. Like it's starting to really worry me about the future of it and how fast they get Sugar Show up there and fucking Patty pussy ass bitch.
He's gonna
whatever
lose
his
next
name
match.
is. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I want to see it. I want to see it on the main card because
Right.
these main cards they're starting to get weak, bro. I'm not even trying to throw shade on anybody, but it's not what I'm used to expecting. Whenever I look up UFC highlights, I'm used to getting like 35, 45 minutes of shit, and this one was 18 minutes, and it was nothing.
I think that's just Dana White not wanting people to see shit for free. You got to go buy that UFC Fight Pass bullshit to watch.
But no, it's the fights at the same time. Like Izzy didn't have any kind of competition. You could see that he was kind of like he looked like a fucking a stray dog playing with his feet.
That's just those championship fights because the judges have shown that a champ doesn't have to do shit to win. They just have to not lose, and they're gonna stay the champ. So that's why Woodley was so boring, right? Like he was the one that really taught the people, like, you don't have to do shit. Just make sure the other guy doesn't do shit to you and you win. So all he focused on is takedown defense and not getting knocked out. And it works. And it makes for boring cards, but it makes these champs defend their title. Like back when Anderson Silva, when George St. Pierre, when those guys were defending their title, they had to go out there and keep fucking fighting.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to. Now you just
that's
have
what
to.
I'm saying. That's why I think this is gonna really wake them up and really make them work towards having these fights. Like, dude had no chance. Derek Lewis, we've bragged about him in his camps. They're non-existent. He had no chance. So hopefully we'll see something from him. But it really seems like the UFC is getting lackadaisical, dude. And it's not worth the $60.
It's 70 now. They've raised it up.
I wouldn't know.
They raised it up to 70.
But yeah, it's been crazy these last couple of months, man, because it's these prime time fights that we think we're gonna get, and we have Derek Lewis still not doing camps, still getting drunk on his brandy and cognac and shit, not giving a fuck. And Izzy's just going out there looking like a fucking cat playing with a piece of yarn. It's not worth it, dude. And I hope it gets better. I was talking to Joe, our probably one solid viewer for America Today. I'm excited to talk about the Super Bowl, but it was very sad because what else are we going to talk about for 5 months? We have basketball, and that's
March
about
Madness is coming, and Yeah,
we
that's
have
it.
March Madness, but that's basketball is about it. Like UFC is not having me confident. And if I'm Dana White, I'm trying to fucking figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do. You can't have Sugar Show being the first fight for the next while. You can't be giving out Patty Pussy Boy for free for the next while. Like you're pretty fucked here coming up. Connor's not around. You're only gonna get so much more out of the Diaz
He's got
boys.
Jorge and Colby coming up. He's rolling around in his big money
Yeah, and
pit. I don't
Kobe's
think
gonna
he's worried.
Kobe's gonna fuck that motherfucker
Yeah,
up in
he
the
is.
first round.
Yeah,
And
and that's the worst case scenario for
he's
Dana
gonna be sitting
because
there reading a fucking Trump Jr. book at the same goddamn
it's the worst
time.
thing for Dana because nobody can challenge Kamaru. It's just
Yeah.
going to be Colby. They're going to have to fight like 10 times in a row because Colby is so much better than everyone else that like it can't.
Yeah, this is the worst I've
Yeah.
seen the UFC in a long time. Back whenever we were coming out of high school, it seemed like they were trying to find their bearings after Tito and Chuck and all that shit. And they found the Ultimate Fighter and all these things. We can have people fight and then fight 4 months later and have these unknown fighters fight. People are over that shit nowadays, and they're not coming with it like they used to. Every 2 months we had a fucking major fight, and now every 2 months those major fights are fucking cow chow. It's
I just think that the champs are too good and they don't have to try to win to stay winning.
yeah, but Suga against fucking Israel Adesanya would be a fucking show, bro. Like that would
Maybe.
be a fucking show. Maybe, but they're not gonna have the balls to do that for another fucking year and a half.
Yeah. Sugar's going to fight like 4 more no names first.
That's so
and then-
fucking stupid. Like UFC, they need to wake the fuck up. Like he needs to wake the fuck up. Because that would be a great fucking fight. Let Sugar fucking knock Patty Pussy Boy out. I know
They're
that's
in a
not his
different
name.
weight class.
I don't know his name, but I can't stand that kid.
They're in a different weight class. I used to have that haircut as a kid, though.
I know you did. Showed me pictures.
All right.
Your soccer pictures were fucking mint.
Right. All right. So those were what I
Get
sent
us
to the
outta here.
colleges. No wonder I didn't get any scholarships. Yeah, but I mean, March Madness is coming. We got some exciting things to talk about. Don't let Steele run you off from the podcast by saying there's nothing to talk about. If you are Canadian, I think you still like basketball, so we can just tune in. And they
Steve
don't
Nash
even like
could be in the
football.
finals,
They have their own-
baby.
What?
Steve Nash could be in the finals, bro. We
I
still
know.
got a chance.
We said that last year, and KD
Nope.
stepped on the
See,
fucking
now he's being negative Nancy.
and
We got a
KD stepped
chance,
on the
Canada.
fucking line.
We got a chance, Canada. He could be back against Boston right after All-Star break.
Andrew Wiggins could be in the finals. There you go. That's
Fuck
Canada
Andrew
for you.
Wiggins.
He's
But yeah,
Canadian.
hey, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Get out of here. And they're winning women's hockey. So congrats to you, Canada. They're gonna have more golds than we have. But yeah, the Olympics is
Nets
going.
versus the Warriors. Let's go.
The Olympics has been kind of fun. The winter is kind of whatever for America because we're not a cold weather country. But for Norway, it's been great. For the cheaters out there in Russia, if there's any Russian listeners, fuck you. Yeah, we don't care. Putin, don't bomb us. But yeah, the Russian cheaters. You haven't watched any sport.
But
any,
I've seen all that. I've seen all that.
That figure skater bullshit.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen all the skiing. I've seen the slaloms. I've seen the snowboarding. I've seen the like we talked about last week. They didn't try to fix the scenery. It's the same shit. Thanks for that, guys.
Yeah, but yeah, that the fact that figure skater.
I forget what it was, but the bitch was going like this, and then she hit her fucking head, and then she dragged down, and nobody tried to fucking help her. It's just been a sour taste for these Olympics, for real. It's been bad.
Yeah, well, this Russian figure skater, if you guys aren't paying attention, this Russian figure skater got a positive, I was about to say COVID test, got a
PED.
positive PED test. And they cleared her to continue to go, but they're not going to have medal ceremony if she medals because it would cause irreparable harm to not allow her to fucking skate. Like she's a cheater. Who can you don't get to keep skating. You're done. See you later. I don't care if you're causing irreparable harm. Get the fuck out of here. But whatever. So now we're gonna have because she's gonna win gold. She's the best fucking figure skater that's ever lived. And she gets to cheat to be there. So she's gonna win. So they're just not gonna hold the medal ceremony. And luckily for us, I guess.
They're still gonna give it away. behind closed doors, but they're not
Right, but they're
gonna-
not doing a ceremony.
Yeah,
It's the dumbest. It's literally cheating out 3 other people that
but
could
that's
be
also
having.
Russia sitting there telling the fucking committee, "I will kill you if you."
Well,
hold
no,
us
it's
to-"
because the committee's fucking Chinese right now, and Putin's their best friend. They don't give a fuck. Their athletes are probably cheating too, so they're like, "Hey, if you guys are paying attention to her, we're good." So, and we're gonna get shut down anyway because China's gonna take over the internet and
I
shut
wish
us
I had
down.
Bluetooth so I could go pee.
Yeah, well, we're out of here anyway. But I was trying to shout out the Olympics, and then I got pissed about the Russian lady. So, anyways, um, I wanted to shout out Sean White. You can go pee if you
Yeah,
want.
I'll be right back.
I want to shout out Sean White
I
because
love
this
Shaun
man
White.
he's already done, but he was in his 5th Olympics.
I was 14 years old.
He was 14 years old a long time ago.
I was 14 whenever he came out.
And now he's gonna retire. The half pipe was awesome, by the way. Sean White was awesome. He fell in his last heat, and so he ended up 4th place. No medal. It kind of sucks, but he's going out still on top, man. Everybody loves him. He ushered in a new era of snowboarding that it became cool. It became an Olympic sport because of him. It wasn't an Olympic sport. He got to skateboard in the first one. So just when you're a kid and you're looking up to people like Sean White and stuff, just remember that these guys go through it too. They were kids once too, and they love what they do. So if you love what you do, go out there, do what you do, love it. Doesn't matter what other people think of the sport, because when Sean White was a kid, nobody thought snowboarding was cool. It was just what the dumb kids, the smoker kids did and all that shit. And skiing was the cool thing. And Sean White said, fuck that. And he made snowboarding cool. And now it's an Olympic sport. So if you think something's cool, if you like doing something, just continue to do it. Don't care what other people say. And as always, be a stud, not a scrub.